What is trust, and how does it interplay with our life? Oftentimes, humans love to trust other entities or other people. In fact, we trust people on a daily basis. Well, is it really getting us anywhere? Is trust really helping us? Is it even, or is it harmful to us? Well, let's take a look here. Trust is one person's expectation that another person or entity care for them. Expectation. That's the key word in this phrase, okay? As we have discussed, any expectation is non-loving. And how do we know this? We know this because the Creator has no expectations for us, her children. We have free will, and the Creator honors our free will, including acting in non-loving ways. Again, this is how we know that expectations are non-loving. We, as the Creator's human children, can take our cue of what is loving behavior from how the Creator treats us. Let's use some examples of trust, okay? Example, I trust my partner to love me. Your partner doesn't have to love you. Your partner chooses to share their love with you. It is a gift. And they can take away that gift at any time. At any time. Although if they were really loving you, they probably wouldn't. But this shows that we are actually in heavy addiction when we expect someone to love us. Now, here the example is a partner, but this also applies for parent-child relationships. It's non-loving for a parent to expect their children to love them. And this is a very common error that many parents make. They put huge amounts of emotional expectations on the children that they are steward over. Remember, God is our real parent, to fill their emotional holes with love. I trust the government to protect me. This is rooted in fear, of course. But what does protect even mean? Like your definition of protection may be different from another person's definition of protection, okay? And the government really doesn't, honestly, if we're being truthful here, the government doesn't protect anybody. The government looks out for its own interests to keep itself sustainable and viable. And oftentimes that has nothing to do with the protection of its citizens. It has everything to do with increasing commerce and economy. If you believe this, if you trust the government to protect you, you're in error. Let's look at the next one. I trust a priest not to molest me. Yeah. You can replace that with anything. Like, I trust a person not to murder me. Well, obviously this isn't true because priests molest children all the time, and people murder children and other people all the time. So, clearly it shows that this trust is part of an expectation that other people are refusing to meet for us. This is kind of an interesting one because, under the guise of a religious organization, it is presented in such a way that there is a high moral authority. That these people in this organization have your best interest in their heart. And it's not true, they don't. Because they themselves are full of emotional injuries and they themselves are looking for self-preservation and to fulfill their own non-loving desires. So the sexual perversion that oftentimes was cultivated by the Catholic Church proves this fact out. How about this one? I trust my water isn't poison. This is part of how American society is built. We are conditioned to trust these entities so that we go to work and specialize in a field that doesn't matter at all. For example, let's say you sell insurance. Well, first of all, did God create you to sell insurance to other humans? No. So then, why does a person sell insurance? Well, a person sells insurance because they think that they can make more money doing that than they can worrying about the cleanliness of their own resources. And they would rather trust that the human systems that are already set up are caring for them and that they can live in comfort because they can make an excess of what they need, enjoy the resources, and buy a whole bunch of other stuff. But it's obviously, if you believe that, you're in a huge amount of addiction because you're failing to recognize the truth that our air, water, and food are polluted terribly. I live in Wilmington, North Carolina. The water here is poison. It is full of perfluorinated so-called forever compounds that are byproducts of Teflon manufacturing. Do you own a Teflon pan? Do you own a non-stick pan so that you can cook your chicken embryos with little cleanup and effort? That's actually you not wanting to take responsibility for what you're actually doing. And the ripple effects of that create a situation where, in the town where I live, the water's poison. I trust God to care for me. This is also an error. Because again, trust gets back to expectations. Okay? Now, you may say to yourself, well, you're making all these videos about God and how great God is. Are you saying that God doesn't care for us? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that we are in addiction and we want God to care for us while we are in our addiction. Okay? So God is not going to magically unpollute the water. The water gets unpolluted when her children start telling the truth and start fulfilling and pursuing their desires about living in a clean environment. That is when God smiles on us and starts to provide for us. But that's not trust, that's faith. Faith is different. Faith is actually an understanding of God's ability to influence our life, that we confirm ourselves and then project into the future based upon various principles that we know to be true. So when you start feeling out your suppressed emotions and start seeing positive effects in your life, you can start to build faith that the Creator is out there and is real and has love for you and wants to give that love to you. That's faith. Faith is building on experience based upon the true principles that God has set up here. That is different than trust. Okay? Let's say you're a person who has, let's say you're a person with grandkids. And you marry a guy, and that guy then molests your grandkids. Is your answer to that to trust God to care for you? Is your answer for that to trust God to care for the grandkids that were molested because of a person that you brought in proximity to them? I don't think so. I think that is a law of attraction event to get you to feel out your own sadness in order for you to establish a relationship with the Creator. Because if you really knew the truth, and if your soul was healed in that area, you wouldn't even attract a person in that situation. Okay? So a lot of this, really all of this, gets back to abdicating responsibility for your own actions, your own thoughts, your own desires, and your own emotional state. God loves when her children take responsibility for themselves. And nowhere in this definition has anything to do about self-responsibility. You don't have to believe me. Ask yourself how trust has worked out in your personal life. Has it been beneficial to you? Or has it not been beneficial to you? If it has been beneficial to you, if you have trusted people that have come through with you, perhaps that's actually a friend or partner acting in codependent addiction with you. Or maybe they just really love you and they want to give you the gift of something. But giving you the gift of something one time should not be a reason for you to build expectations that that behavior comes all the time. So, a lot of people love to think that trust is a noble emotion, and oftentimes people value the ability to trust another person. I'm suggesting that you should challenge your beliefs on this. Ask God. Is trust a loving emotion? Ask God, do you want me to trust other humans? Or should I not trust other humans and use my own discernment and my own ability to navigate this place with self-responsibility? If you start to wrestle with this concept and remove yourself of it, as your soul changes vibration when you release grief, you will actually attract people that will act in loving ways towards you, and you will not feel the need to trust anyone. You won't have to trust anyone because you will be manifesting everything that you need. So I encourage you to experiment with this. And again, I want to highlight, does this make you uncomfortable? Are you feeling energetic dissonance within yourself because you have trusted so many people in your life? Who taught you how to trust? Good luck. Love and peace, everyone.